Okay, YouTube. Next thing I'm going to do is take the fuel tank off. I want to rebuild the carb, so the easiest way to get to all of that is without a fuel tank on it. The way you do that is take the hose off the bottom, and it looks like these two bolts, and it should slide off. The other thing I'm going to do while I have the fuel tank off at some point soon is adjust the valves. The other thing I'm going to do while I have the fuel tank off is check the valve lash. Make sure it's to factory spec. You can see it's already loose, so it's going to come right off. Now you can see how much access I have to the motor. Can't say I've seen that a lot where it's dual plugs on a single cylinder bike. Gives me real easy access to check the valve lash. You can see it's pretty dirty, so one of the things I'm going to do is stop what I'm doing and give this a real good cleaning. You can see here that I got it all cleaned up. I use a mixture of spray 9 and laundry detergent and some water, and that generally does a pretty good job. Now a lot of dirt did come out of this oil cooler, so I'm glad that's a lot cleaner. And you can see it's a lot cleaner up here. Now I can remove these valve covers and be confident that dirt's not going to fall into the top end of the motor. I definitely got water down in the carburetor. I didn't block the inlet off. Not a big deal because I'm going to pull the carburetor off and clean it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the fairing off and put an LED bulb into this headlight. Looks like to get it off there's a screw on each side, and that's where I'll start. I'm surprised it's only one screw on each side to take it off. Okay, so that just takes off this plastic fairing. Oh, there is a third screw underneath here. That just takes off the plastic covering, so everything's still here. So I'm going to make sure to undo each of these connectors and put some dielectric grease in each one to keep the water out of them and to keep the corrosion out. Looks like to get the headlight off, you take these nuts out. There's 2 on each side. Alright, now that I have those 4 out, it comes right off. Now I'll just pull the headlight connector off. And there it is, the headlight. And you just take this cover off. And then I'm going to take the halogen bulb out of it. These are the LED bulbs I use. It's an H4 type. The voltage is 9 to 12 volts. Here's a look at the bulb here. Put it in. It sits like that. Sits right down in there. Can't really get it wrong. I just clip the clip in. Now I can put it back on. You can see how much brighter it's going to be just by being clean. Now I'll put the cover back on. There it is. Just pushes right back on. You want the drain on the cover to be at the bottom. This is the dielectric grease I use by Permatex. And then I just take the connectors apart one at a time. This is some dielectric grease I have in a tube. Came with some spark plug wires or something like that. And then I just fill it up pretty good. I'm also going to put some in the headlight plug. You want to make sure that when they go back together, you give a good click. While I'm here, before I zip tie everything up and pull this cover back over, I want to look in to see why these extra 2 spotlights on the front are not working. Now, I see this switch up here. It wasn't really mounted to anything. And I see these wires, and they're going out to those extra lights. So I believe this switch fires this relay, and then this relay in turn fires those lights. So I'm going to check and make sure that I have power everywhere. Now, I did already check this fuse, and this fuse is good. Now I'm going to put my meter on volts. You do want to double check that your battery has 12 volts. You don't want to be troubleshooting and all of a sudden your battery went dead. And there you can see it's got 12.8 volts. So the first thing I want to do is make sure to have 12 volts coming over to the relay plug. And right there, I have 12 volts on this one. I didn't have 12 volts on any of these other pins. And now that the relay's in the socket, I'm going to check to see if I have power up at the switch wires. I don't have power up here, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm guessing that's what the problem is. If you don't have 12 volts up to the switches, then it's not going to fire the relay. So I'm going to unplug this one again and see if I have power right here. And no power here. It's got to be a problem right up here in the relay, I'm guessing. I'm guessing the next logical thing would be to check the relay itself. It has 85, 86, 30, 87A, and 87. And then if you look at the back side of this, so there's 30, 86, 87, and 85. 85 and 86 are the coil of the relay. We'll fire those first. So I'm going to put power to 86, and 85 gets the ground. So just to do the ground, I'm going to touch the ground to the ground. Not sure if you can hear that, but the relay's firing. The common's pin 30, 87's the normally open. So I have the meter across the contacts. I'm going to go back to ohms. I'm going to put the tone on. I'm going to touch the one side to ground. So the relay checks good. This isn't a relay problem. I also want to make sure that ground comes up in here. This one was the hot. I believe this should be the ground. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the coil that pulls the relay. One side's grounded and hot. This should get a hot from the switch. And then we also have one side here that's hot, and this one's ground, and they're the contacts. And both of those line up. Up front, the red to the lights comes to this, and that's the normally open contact. The ground comes to this terminal, which is also going to the battery. We know that this one's plus 12 volts. So what happens is you turn the switch and it fires the coil, and then the contacts in the relay connect these two together. The issue here is we're not getting a positive over to here to fire the coil. Now we got to try and figure out why that is before I cut this sheathing. That means that one of these here should go to the battery, and one of them should come back to this plug here, and that's not happening. So that means on this connector here, one of them should bring a hot to this terminal. Let's see if any of them are even connected. Oh, that one is. So that's good. The thing we're missing, that's the white. Comes back to the plug. So the thing we're missing is this red. I believe this red here should have a connection to the battery. None of these have a connection to the plus side of the battery, and that's what the problem is. So it does look like we're going to have to open this up. And there's the problem right there. That red wire is broken, and that's why it is not getting power and this whole lighting circuit isn't working. So I'll just pull it back like this. There's that red wire that went up to the switch. There's the white coming back. The other one goes to ground. So how do we get that connected on? Looks like if I go down through here and push in right there, I should be able to pop that out. Of course, I shut the camera off and then I get it right out. So there's a little tang right here where this little drop down is right there. I stuck the straight screwdriver right down in there, gave it a little pry. It pushes this tang in and it popped right out. So you can see this has some corrosion on it. And then you can also see is this little wire here. It's a thin little guy. Now if I hook it back on, it's going to kind of stress it a little. I'm going to try and get a little extra. Well, there you go. I got a little extra up there. So now I'm going to reconnect this to this piece here. I'm going to solder this on off camera. There you can see I have it soldered back on. Now I'll put it back up in this connector. But before I do that, you want to take and bend this out with your fingernail a little bit. Now you can see I bent it out a pretty good bit. All right, you heard it clip in. You want to give it a real good tug. Make sure it's not going to come out, and it's not. So now, before I put the heat shrink back up, I'm going to put some tape around this, kind of keep everything steady. Now I'm going to pull the heat shrink back up and wrap it back over the connector. And then I'm going to wrap some tape around the outside of the heat shrink just to protect everything. Alrighty. Now I'm going to plug the relay back in. I'm going to plug this connector into this one, like so. Now the red one to the center, the white one up top, and the black one in. Now the switch is working. And now I know why this is grounded. It lights this light on the front when it's turned on. So the problem was that red wire broke up into the connector. There's all the wiring all buttoned up. The other thing I did was shorten up all that extra wiring. Under here, I soldered the wires and they have heat shrink on them, and then I just covered them with some tape. I'm going to wind up putting a relay somewhere back here. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps my channel and doesn't cost you a thing.